Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures continued, issue number 27 from IDW. Does whatever an iron can. So yeah, there's a Iron Man, or I guess in this case, an Iron Turtle issue. So we get a quick recap where we see Hob, and he's part, for anyone who's like unfamiliar with Hob, he's part of an intergalactic criminal syndicate that go around and like steal stuff all over the galaxy. And they went up against the Turtles many issues back, which ended up with everyone but Hob stranded in their dimension. And Shredder has also been stuck in between dimensions as well. But in the last issue, they were able to get their hands on the Transmat, which was able to bring Hobbs' group to Earth, as well as bringing Shredder back to Earth. So all the evil villains are back. We start off this issue with Donnie showing off his new invention, which is the Shellacker armor system. Basically think Iron Man suit, but for the Turtles. And the Turtles are kind of like, you know, that's kind of dumb. We're Turtles, we already have Shell, what kind of armor do we need? The Splinter's like, hey, like, you're a ninja. The whole point of a ninja is to adapt to whatever the situation calls for. To have an iron suit like this, like, I don't know why you're knocking it. It's a pretty cool idea. And yeah, it's basically Iron Man's suit, but for Turtles. Like, he even has the shooting laser beams from the hands. Meanwhile, we cut to the villains, where Hob is introducing Krang as the newest member of the Pantheon. And the Pantheon is the name of the crime syndicate. And Shredder wants to get involved too. But Hob's like, no, you're an Earthling, and Pantheon is made up of the greatest criminal minds of the galaxy. You just don't have what it takes. I'm like, wouldn't Earthlings be considered part of the galaxy? Like, Earthlings would be considered an alien race to these people. And I guess Shredder is the, I don't know if I want to say he's the greatest mind on Earth, but he is the biggest foe for the Turtles when it comes to Earthlings. But we have this moment where the Pantheon are kind of upset with Hob, and they're upset with the fact that you've done nothing but lead us to failure. So maybe we need a new leader. And even Hob's like, I'm the one who brought you all together. You guys were nothing until I brought you all in. And Drako is like, yeah, but what have you done for us lately? Besides fail. So yeah, everyone's kind of like trying to take the role. Some of them don't really care. They're just like, we just want money. Whoever is the best job for us to make money, then that can be the leader. Like, I don't care. And that's when Krang reveals that he gave Drako these wings, which I'm surprised Drako doesn't have wings of his own since he's the Lord of Dragons. But yeah, Drako is going to be the main antagonist in this issue, and he's going to try to fight the Turtles with his wings. And we see the Turtles beating up some jumpsuit boys. I love these like old 80 gangs that work in comics and movies and stuff, where it's based, especially a lot of cartoons. A lot of cartoons had this, where there's a bunch of, like, the gangs were all interracial, and they all had like sweatpants and sweat jackets on and stuff like that, and gold chains and boom boxes and stuff. And that was basically it. That's your everyday gangster. So we have the Turtles just beating them up, and that's when Drako shows up and fights. And we just have a lot of fighting between the Turtles and Drako. We have a moment where Leo rushes into a pizza shop, grabs a fire extinguisher, and sprays it in Draco's face so he can't use his fire breath. So he decides, well, I'll just separate you guys. So he kidnaps Leo and Donnie, brings him up to a building, knocks him out, and then he threatens Michelangelo and Raphael. He's like, if you want to save your brothers, you better come up here on top of this building within an hour and allow me to brainwash you, otherwise I'm going to kill them. They decide to come up with the idea of, well, why don't we use the suit? Now is a perfect time to use the suit and use that to try to fight Drako. So Michelangelo dons a suit, and Draco's kind of pissed off because he has a hate on for Michelangelo, which makes sense because Michelangelo was the one to originally break out from the Pantheon when they had him trapped in that like weird imagination dimension where they got to live out their greatest dreams and stuff. Mikey was the one to break through that. So he's pissed off and he goes to fight off Michelangelo, leaving Raphael to go in and save his bros. And unfortunately, the fight with Mikey and Drako isn't all that long. It's mostly just him trying to fly away. Drako grabs him and Mikey destroys his wings and they end up falling into the East River. So yeah, he ends up dragging Drako down into the water with him. Drako ends up realizing like he can't use his fire breath here, and so he decides, well, I might as well just get away. Meanwhile, Michelangelo just keeps sinking because the suit is like messed up, and he's wondering how much air is in this thing. Which I want to point this out because I've had a lot of people on my Last Ronin series. They're like, Raphael couldn't drown. He's a turtle. Turtles can't drown. Here you go. Here's proof that the turtles can drown. Mikey is worried about how much air he has. No, but in all honesty, turtles can drown. Turtles do not breathe underwater. They're just able to hold their breath for a very, very, very long time. Also, for anyone like you actually listened to that video, I didn't say Raphael died by drowning. I said that he was basically dead because he took a, it was a guitar. I said kunai in the video, but it's actually called a guitar. He takes a guitar through the head, like under his chin, basically into his brain. That kills him. And I said, you know, he takes a guitar to the head, he's dead, he's, you know, sinking to the water. If that guitar didn't kill him, then the drowning would have. But the guitar is what killed him. I just want to point this out because I still have people mention this to this day about how, you know, he couldn't have drowned. Turtles can drown. It just takes them a very, 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 very long time because they can hold their breath for forever. But they do breathe oxygen. Like, they can't breathe underwater. I guess I just wanted to use this to kind of just point that out because I still get comments to this day about how Raphael can't drown. And I'm like, yeah, he can. But that's not why he died. He died because of the guitar. But if the guitar didn't kill him for whatever reason, which I don't know why it wouldn't because he took a guitar to the head. But if that didn't have killed him, the drowning would have finished the job. Is basically all I'm trying to say. But yeah, thankfully for Mikey, he's able to get out. We don't really show how. We just see him wondering how much air does this thing have. And then the very next panel, he's out of the suit and they're back in the lair. And yeah, they're just like, well, the experiment did its job. It was a good little plot device, but now it's done. It just makes me wonder, like, if the suit did its job, why not just make another one? Thankfully, this issue explains it, though. They say that the river rusted out the metal, and he doesn't have any extra. So I'm glad that they, like, pointed this out, just because that's one of those things that always bothered me, where it's like, they create, like, an invention that works, but ends up getting destroyed or whatever. And then they decide, you know what, we're not ever going to build that again. Because what are the chances that we're going to find ourselves in that same situation? You never know. Might as well just build a backup just in case. But here they actually explained it away. They're like, yeah, we can't rebuild this thing because I don't have any of the material that I need to make another one. So I like that they pointed that out. That's pretty much the end of the issue. And it's setting up that the next issue is going to deal with Golgotha, who is one of the Pantheon members. So I guess now we're going to do this arc where we have the Turtles fighting each of the individual Pantheon members one by one, which just begs the question, why don't they just all fight together? Yeah, there you go. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Saturday Morning Adventures continued, issue number 27. I like this. I thought this was just a fun little issue. That's basically what all these Saturday Morning Adventures Turtle comics are. They're just fun little issues which are trying to be for kids, but at the same time have throwbacks to the old cartoons, which is always kind of like this weird situation because I don't think any kids have watched the old cartoons. I don't know, maybe you guys can share with me if you have any kids that watch the old 80s cartoons. It seems like at least this new generation doesn't really watch anything like old anymore, which is always kind of sad because I feel like new Hollywood stuff is kind of lame and old stuff is a lot better. I mean, my favorite shows and stuff were back from like the 60s and things, before I was decades and decades and decades before I was even born. Yeah, there's a lot of like cool stuff back then, but I don't know if kids will watch the old 80s cartoons. Yeah, this issue is like, the series is basically trying to be for kids while at the same time trying to have references that only people who watch the cartoon would get. Which is okay. I mean, I'm glad that they're not like making this like dark and gritty or whatever. That'd be weird to take a beloved cartoon series and make it dark and gritty. Then again, we got Dynamite doing that. So, who knows? But yeah, this is this fun little entertaining story, I guess. I mean, this is just like, I don't know, a 6 out of 10. Like it's good. It's not like great or anything like that. It's just a little childish series for kids, but it does hit me in the nostalgia because this is what got me into Turtles in the first place, was the old cartoons and stuff. So it's kind of cool to see them brought back, even if it's just in comic book form. So there you go. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.